Hello all, I hope you enjoyed our brand new intro. Welcome back to Left Side Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellison. Joining me, of course, my co-hosts, Mike Deacon and Jacob London. And joining us for our first full episode, or his first full episode, I should say. He was on our Draft Spectacular, but he is now here for a full episode. Needed some backup because, I did not feel supported on this show. SugeKnight323 is here. Shout out, Mike.
You didn't even play this week.
I still need.
I know, but I watch your guys' show every weekend right after mine, or not weekend, sorry, weekday. And I just see the hate toward the Steelers. So I mean, I gotta wear this. Actually, I'm gonna take it off because it's burning hot in California. But I just wanted to come in, and show that I'm a Steelers fan. But God, my head is on fire right now, so I'm gonna take this off. Good.
Yeah, we are not talking about the Steelers today.
It's not hate towards the Steelers. It's the hate towards the I just want to say the Cowboys level of arrogance from this guy.
Oh, come on. Cowboys level of arrogance, my ass. All right. Yes, I don't regret such words. But yeah, we are here to recap all the action of the NFL Week 6, in which the Steelers did not play. So by proxy means we win. Because that's just how it works. We don't lose the bye week. But
I mean, except Matt Canada.
Yeah, Matt Canada's still here. That's okay. So we tied with the bye week. So we'll call that we tied. We didn't lose the bye week, but we tied.
So did you see what happened at the Penguins game?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about that real quick.
It's not even a football game, and that's happening. That's when you know it's bad.
I have never seen Pittsburgh rally so hard against one dude as they have with Matt Canada, where they're chanting "Fire Canada" at hockey games.
Yeah. So this is something that, if you weren't aware, if you have like Messenger or Instagram and you have the sticker service, you can make custom AI stickers. And Matt Canada is like in there, so you can make Matt Canada doing whatever you want stickers. And I had some fun with that.
Can you make Matt Canada calling a good game for once?
I don't think that'll work.
Nah, I don't think so either. Thought I'd try. Let's talk about some other teams. Let's talk about first of which Thursday Night Football. We have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Denver Broncos. Now, look, we've all been saying this year, Russell Wilson, despite the struggle of the team, and playing pretty well. Yeah, that form is not present today.
If Russell Wilson plays decently in this game, they actually have half a chance of winning.
Yeah,
the big takeaway 7 weeks into the season, or 6 weeks, I don't know what we're at. The biggest takeaway for this has been the Chiefs look rusty. They look really lethargic on offense. Their defense is good. Don't get me wrong. Their defense is very good. But on offense, they have been lethargic and just not there. And it's really concerning now that they're going into the real tough part of their schedule.
Yeah. And look, the story of the Chiefs offense is very simple. I'm actually gonna pull it up real quick. Yeah, the story of the Chiefs offense there's one thing you can do to sum up the entire Chiefs offense. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's not right. Clip back. What's going on? I'm sorry. Wrong one. Sorry. What I meant to show was. Oh my God! I don't know why that keeps happening. Producer guy, come on. What you doing? Okay, anyway, back to the game. But we also see like some struggles with Denver real quick. Mainly regarding Sean Payton. This might be a colossal mistake.
Might be. Like, it is. Like, this is not clicking at all. That defense, they're in the conversation for the worst defense in football right now.
Which is ironic, considering they were a top 5 unit the previous year.
Yeah. The big thing, though, is like, this game is doubly concerning because, A, you have Denver's defense that is that bad, But then you have Kansas City, who's supposed to be this juggernaut on offense, not being able to do anything except kick field goals.
But I do want to talk about the Broncos real quick because one of the highlights of this broadcast, which were not many, was that they actually did show Sean Payton's playbook. They got a pretty clear shot of it.
And then did it again on Monday.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I decided to come up with a game for you guys. It's called Real or Fake Sean Payton Play.
Oh,
I'm going to pull up a play name, and you have to tell me if this is a real play on his play sheet or something I just made up. All right. So first play. Sling 34 Quattro K Brute. Real or fake?
Fake.
I'll say real.
I say that's fake. I say fake.
Okay, so I got two fakes and one. I'm sorry, two fakes and one real. Yes. That is a real play. All right. Up next. So Mike's in the lead. Up next, Nudge F Flutie Flutie. Real or fake?
Fake. Fake.
Fake.
That's fake.
All right, everyone's saying fake. Joke's on you. That's also a real play.
God.
All right. Up next, Quick Out 34 Nacho.
One of these is going to have to be fake at some point, so fake.
I'll go fake.
I'll go real.
All right, so two fakes and one real. The fakes are correct. That is a fake play. I made that one up. All right. Up next, Chip Google.
That sounds fake.
It sounds fake, but it's probably real.
All right, so I got two. Sorry, Mike, you saying real?
Yeah.
All right, so two reals and one fake. That is a real play. All right. Next, Lone Star Right Deli.
That's fake.
I'm going to say real.
I've been wrong all day, so let me go fake.
All right, so I got two fakes and one real. The fakes have it. That is fake. I did make that one up.
There we go.
All right. Next, Lion Poacher X0.
Real.
That sounds real. Yeah.
That sounds real to me.
You're all wrong. That is incorrect. That is fake. Next play, Specialty Alt Olay.
That how you delete your browser history? I will say real.
Yeah, I'll say real as well.
Jacob.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go real.
You're all correct. That is real. All right. Next play, Brute Narc Simba.
That was supposed to be the name of the Disney movie Lion King until they changed it. So I will go real.
I'm gonna say fake.
I suddenly want the champagne drinking cop Simba movie, so I'm going to say real.
All right, two reals and a fake. The reals have it. That was a real play. Gun Topper Trips Ranger.
That used to be my stripper name. I will go with fake.
I'm going to say fake as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fake.
That one is fake. I completely lost track of points, but you get the picture. Like these are not football plays. Like these are nonsense words.
Really? I mean, you find better plays in Madden 2023.
You do.
Look, I'm at a point. He's tanking. I straight up, he's tanking. It's we're at that point where he is this season just gone, fuck it, blow it all up, and is tanking and is trying desperately to get Caleb Williams.
And it's time to start making trades for Denver, like because they have a couple of pieces that teams would start selling.
I think Jerry Jeudy will go for probably a third or a second. You're not getting a first for Jerry Jeudy.
Well, not after the way Steve Smith unloaded on him. We didn't talk about that. Steve Smith before the game, straight out just cut a promo on Jerry Jeudy.
Can I give Steve Smith Stonks Player of the Week for that?
Yeah, sure, why not?
That was
Jesus.
All right, Steve Smith, your dunks of the week.
That was brutal.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't take that kind of disrespect if that was me. But I'm not on the field. But yeah, I agree with Jacob. Like, it looks like Broncos are tanking, and with the Chiefs, we got to be honest. Is this a byproduct of Eric Bieniemy leaving? That they look this
absolutely.
bad. Now, I will say, you look at the Chiefs wide receivers. Other than Kelsey, who do they really have? They don't really have anybody that you really stick out. And so that,
they didn't have anyone last year either.
but that's how great Mahomes is. But that's how great
Yeah,
Mahomes is. He makes them look
what I'm
good.
getting at. Like the big difference between this year and last year, no Bieniemy, and so, because here's the thing: we have never seen Patrick Mahomes with Matt Nagy as his offensive coordinator.
Right.
We've seen Matt Nagy with him as his and Mahomes is the starter, because Alex Smith was the starter in Matt Nagy's final season at Kansas City. So this is the first time we've seen this, and I don't think it's working. I don't think Matt Nagy is a particularly good offensive coordinator. I don't think he is overly impressive, and everything we're seeing so far is going all right. I don't know if you two are on the same page.
I will say this year, as opposed to last year, Pacheco did kind of take the ring and say, I'm the alpha of the running backs, because like McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are pretty much afterthoughts, which that's not how it's been the past couple of years. Yeah. So I think that their run game has, because Pacheco has stepped up, has gotten a little bit better, but they need somebody, one of the wide receivers, and it might be Rice. He's trending slightly in that direction, but he hasn't grabbed it yet. But they need one of their wide receivers to really step up.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, when you look at it, they're 5-1.
Yeah,
and they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. So,
but I think
are you a little bit worried as a Kansas City fan going into later in the season that you haven't got this offense going? Yeah, but
that's the thing. Like, I would be concerned just because if you go because look, like Detroit showed the blueprint. If you have even a halfway, actually a lot of teams showed the blueprint. If you have a halfway decent defense and your offense can put up points, I feel like you can win a shootout with Kansas City. Whereas I didn't think that before. I feel like you can win a shootout with this Kansas City.
But here's the thing, and this is kind of emblematic. This game has been kind of emblematic of a lot of the contenders this year all week. And I'm just going to kind of say it now instead of saying it for all other games that we're going to talk about. Every single Super Bowl contending team, and there's about 8 of them, or who have aspirations, every single one of them need to make a move at the trade deadline, outside of maybe the 49ers. I think everyone is missing something. There's that one piece that every team is missing. Kansas City, it's a legit weapon. If I'm Kansas City, I think you made a huge mistake not getting Hopkins. I think that's now really going to start biting you badly later in the season. So I'm calling around trying to find a weapon. The biggest problem they've got is the most available weapon is in their division. There's no way in hell the Broncos give it to them. No way in hell the Broncos give it to Kansas City.
Can they afford to bring on somebody else?
Yeah, that's another issue too.
For 1 year they will. For 1 year, you pay half the salary. Yeah, you'll be able to.
Okay.
Yeah, most likely.
But yeah. So look, we the Broncos, look, struggles are noted. Russell Wilson actually. Yeah, fuck it. He is my not talk player of the week. I don't think I saw a quarterback more horrendous this week, which is saying a lot. But yeah. Chiefs. I get it's Thursday, so naturally you're gonna be a little behind the 8 ball, but Jesus Christ, even this is a little shocking considering that you're the fucking Chiefs. So they need to figure some stuff out. Up next, we have London Bowl Part 3, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tennessee Titans. This is where where Suge and I had a bone to pick because we needed the Titans to do something, and that was foolish. I was relying on Tannehill to do anything is absolutely foolish.
Yeah, but I think they did us. I think they did us a favor.
Really?
The Ravens, I do a Ravens Steelers podcast. Now we're kicking out the Ravens because I'm tired of them, and it's now the Panthers Steelers podcast. But the Ravens and Jacob said it earlier. You know, they're one of the teams that are going to be going out and looking for a receiver. You know, they should have got DeAndre Hopkins, and they had the resources to do it, and they should have done it, and they didn't. They took Odell Beckham.
They rather pay Odell Beckham Jr.
who does nothing. But at the same time, like you're looking at the Ravens. They're, as much as Ravens fans want to sit here and believe that their team is that good, their defense has looked not great. Their offense right now, who do you go to if they're not dropping balls? You know, they're you know, what are they doing? Like, so I feel like the Ravens are under a lot of pressure, and this game might have not gone their way. But I don't think they feel good coming back to Baltimore, coming back to the States feeling good. I think they feel worse because
the thing that was shocking to me is how well Tennessee ran against this team. Because, like, look, sure, you can vouch. Running against Baltimore is very difficult.
Yeah.
It used to be, but this ain't the same Baltimore team.
That's fair.
They're starting to feel the pressure from the injuries. Wide receiver, I think, is one that they need to go out and get. I also think a corner. I think they need. There's right now. There's about 5 teams that need a corner, like really badly. This wasn't an awful game for the Ravens. I think it was one of those. Again, you could also chalk it up to London. It's hard to evaluate these London games because there is just that element of jet lag, that element of both. And again, this isn't like last week's one. Both teams arrived, both teams had disadvantages compared to last week. My big takeaway, Vrabel, please, I'm begging you, get out of the Titans. I need you to go to a good team because you're too good of a coach to just be sinking on this God-forsaken team. They need a blow up. They need a full-blown blow up and rebuild. This Titans, like the 2019 was their year. Like that miracle run was their year, and they just
They couldn't capitalize. Yeah, this is one of those teams that I think is desperately looking for. I can honestly see this team trading up in the draft next year to get a quarterback.
Yeah, I could too.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on where they finish.
Yeah.
Because we know Ryan Tannehill's not the guy. Unless Levis is really good, which I still have questions about. Unless he's really good, then they're gonna be looking.
The fact they didn't put him in, though, that's like they put in.
I put in Malik Willis first, which is concerning.
Yeah. So the other the move I could see the Titans trading Derek before week 8. That's the thing I could see, and I could also see Hopkins be traded. If someone came to them and said, we'll give you a 4th for Hopkins, I think they make that move. I really do. I think that they're at
who has a bunch of picks like that? Baltimore.
Yeah,
Baltimore can give them a load and might try to get both players because they ain't got a running back right now. Oh, they got Gus Edwards, but
they got what are you talking about? They got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, when Lamar Jackson's your leading rusher, that's a problem. But kind of going before Mike steps in, but going back to Baltimore right now, their next 4 games they can go. Their next 4 games they can go 1-3. And finish. And finish with a real under the gun record and start and like you said, Jacob, start feeling the pressure. They got Detroit next. Detroit is not Detroit of old, so that's a good team that can put points up.
I think Detroit's a really good test, actually, for both teams. I think that game we'll talk about later. It's a really good test.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, again, Baltimore got a much needed win to try and keep pace in the AFC North, which is actually coming. It's heating up. It's getting competitive. Titans continue to spin their wheels. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll start with the Titans. Like the Titans, that is a team that has zero identity right now. Like they just don't have any semblance of direction. This is a team that traditionally was a run-heavy team. They're not really doing that right now. Tannehill looked lost in that game. Then he gets hurt, and you got Willis, who, Willis is very erratic. Last year when he came in, he was erratic. This year he's erratic. I don't think he's a long-term answer whatsoever. But on the other side of the ball, the Ravens, almost is, the same similar situation. A team that usually is able to run the ball as good, if not better, than any team in football. Literally right now are running that offense through Jackson, Mark Andrews, and Zay Flowers. They are fortunate that they hit with Zay Flowers. Otherwise, that team would be a mess at wide receiver.
Hey, Mike, you know who Baltimore could have had? They could have had T. Higgins. They could have had George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens are not good at drafting. This just beyond, especially offense. I'll say offense.
Offense,
Defense, they're pretty
Defense,
excellent.
They're great in the second.
They took a hurt nose tackle over probably a generational wide receiver. Just saying,
That's fair.
and he still hasn't played. Just saying.
That is true. Yeah. So up next, look, there are a couple certainties in the world of football. The Packers beating the Bears twice in a year, and Washington somehow, some way, no matter what it is, ending streaks. Because look, we said last week Desmond Ridder had never lost a game at home. That promptly ended this week.
Desmond Ridder was bad.
He really was. And look, he put up a good stat line. Problem is turnovers, and one was super costly. And actually, I had the shot of Arthur Smith reacting to that last turnover.
he would. So that doesn't do that game justice. If we look, Brian Dable looked like he wanted to kill people. Arthur Smith looked like he wanted to murder Ridder.
Arthur Smith wants to hang Desmond Ridder by his toes.
Oh, he was. That one's the least of all of them. That one's just, that's a bad turnover. Desmond Ridder had 3 opportunities to just go down and get a touchdown. That's all. Go down, score a touchdown, and he threw the ball away all 3 times. He was bad. Ridder was awful in this game. Unfortunately, no one else really was able to do anything. Sam Howell looked decent. I didn't think he looked amazing. I think he played well, but I don't think he was incredible.
He had the most unimpressive 3 touchdown game I've maybe ever seen.
Yeah, this is
151 yards. That sounds like me going out there and throwing some touchdowns.
I don't really want to talk much about this game because but this is just 2 bad football teams. Really bad football teams.
This was probably the worst game of the week, in terms of football quality. This was not a good game.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not waste any more time on this game. Let's move on.
It was just a shit game.
Well, things don't get much better as we move on to an NFC North showdown between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Now, coming into this game, Justin Jefferson was not playing. So we thought, okay, maybe Chicago stands a chance. And thing is, Chicago kept in the game. Here's the catch. Justin Fields went down in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, thumb injury. So they now had to rely on, let me check my notes here. Tyson Bagent.
What does that mean?
Those aren't real words. I'm convinced this is not a real person. This is not a real player.
He wasn't great either.
No, he wasn't.
No,
turned it over immediately.
Yeah, I like this again. This is another one of those. This game was awful. I'm fascinated to see what the Bears do because I think they could get a first for DJ Moore if they tried to trade him. But in that, are we going to try and get another first for next year? Because I think there'd be a team that actually are desperate enough. But also I understand that the reason they made that move was so they could get a wide receiver for whoever their weapon is next year.
Yeah.
But the way they're going to have 2 top 5 picks. So you could end up getting another wide receiver anyway who's very, very good. So I'm if I'm the Bears, that's maybe a consideration I'm looking at.
One of the interesting things to talk about, not regarding this game, regarding one of these teams, there's a story that came out about Kirk Cousins in which he refused to waive his no-trade clause, which I thought was just ridiculous.
Stupid. Yeah.
Because
who gave him that power?
Well, he's always had
the Vikings. That's who gave him that power.
That was the condition. He's always had no trade clauses. He's honestly Kirk Cousins has one of the single greatest agents of all time. Like that's like whoever his agent is, every single quarterback needs to be hiring him because
The fact that Kirk Cousins can get $45 million a year play quarterback, that's incredible.
yeah, like Kirk Cousins. Look, I get it. I think Kirk Cousins doesn't want to go somewhere as a short-term solution, and I think he is also. I have a feeling he's been told you've got the 49ers gig. I have a feeling he knows he is, but he's going to have to take a massive pay cut, and he's willing to do it. I think.
Thing is,
I
you can,
see another team.
be legitimate help to some teams right now, and still go get that gig after the season's over.
Injured, again, if he gets injured, that's the fear. Like I think that is honestly.
He can get injured here. He can get injured here.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
like that doesn't make any sense. Like he can still get injured in Minnesota.
Yeah. No, you're right. I don't get. Look, I don't 100% get it. I think it's also maybe a bit of a fuck you to the Vikings. Like hey, you're not giving me a contract. Fuck you. I'm not going to give you help.
I'm going to win you enough games to not get one of the 4 quarterbacks.
Well, that too.
I'm going to will you to 7 victories, and that'll take you out.
But like, I mean, that could be an element of it. Like, is he's pissed off that he didn't get the contract because he clearly loves Minnesota. So, that could be an element. I don't know. It's just also there is that. Who knows what's going to happen? Like, if next week they lose, or the week if they lose the next 2 games, and then they're suddenly 2-6. And a team is willing to overpay plus give him an extended contract. Maybe he is willing to do it. But it's gonna. I think it at the moment. I reckon the only teams who were calling were the Jets, maybe the Falcons, and maybe the Patriots.
You don't think Tennessee?
I don't think Tennessee. I think Tennessee might, but I not right now. I think Tennessee know that they're in the rebuild and that they're not willing to give up draft capital. I just don't think that they're willing to give up picks right now.
Thing is, I don't think there's any team that's going to give Kirk Cousins a long-term contract. I think like he's like firmly in the stopgap portion of his career. So he's waiting on a long-term contract. I don't think he's ever going to get it.
Yeah,
he's going to get a 3-year deal from Atlanta is what I think is going to happen in this offseason. A 2 or 3 year deal to go play for the Falcons, who have a pretty steady offense for him to go to. Like their pieces around Ritter are good. It's just Ritter is not it. So that's, I don't know if it's happening this season, but I am calling the next year he is in a Falcons uniform.
Well, we will see how that progresses, but yeah, let's throw this game out. Up next, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't have a clip of it, but DK Metcalf slowly becoming like maybe the dirtiest player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Every week he's beating the shit out of somebody.
It's him and Mac Jones, and yeah, DJ. That was not good from Metcalf. That was a really bad look, and the NFL needs to get he needs to have a very stern letter of, hey, we're watching you now. Like, just like there's something there. This was a pretty decent game. Seahawks need to figure out their red zone offense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they would have. I think the Seattle Seahawks would have won this game if they had a better red zone offense.
Yeah, they absolutely would have won this game if they had red zone. The Bengals, Burrow is still clearly injured. Like him running around is fine, but every time he throws the ball, it's like, oh, yeah, no, you don't have the arm that you normally do. Which is interesting. I'm still, the Bengals are such a question mark right now. I don't know who they are. The fact that somehow they're still in it just because the North has just been so weird this year and everyone's just either honestly, everyone winning this game this week really hurt the Bengals. Whereas if everyone lost, it would have helped them. Like, it's just weird.
I said it last year. I said it last year when they were it looked like they were in trouble. I said they needed that they, the North needed to make sure to put them down to make them, go like, okay, we're gonna sit Burrow, let them relax and everything. But they came back, and it seems like it's going to happen again this year. They're starting to get on the same page, like you said. Burrow still looks hurt, but if they can keep pace, like nobody's running away. Like the Ravens aren't running away. Steelers are not going to run away with it. If they can keep pace and get healthy, and by week 12, week 13, they're healthy, then they're going to be an issue, and they can even be a wild card team, and that's a dangerous wild card team. So. I agree with you. I don't know. We don't know who they are, but we do know that they have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They got offensive weapons. We'll see what happens. The big question is, are they going to be able to keep all these weapons with Burrow? We'll see, but hopefully they start losing and then they just sit Burrow for the rest of the year. So that makes it a little easier for us to win the North. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
It's really like. It's a big week for the North this week because if all three of you end up winning, that will be enough to probably put the Bengals down because their next game because they're on a bye and then their next game is the 49ers and that's not going to be an easy win. So
that wouldn't be very good for Burrow.
After seeing this weekend, I don't know.
But that's going to essentially be 2 losses because if all three of you win this week, that's a loss. If if they lose to the 49ers next week, that's 2 losses. If all three of you lose this week, and then they somehow pull off a miracle against the 49ers, they're looking real scary. So, the next 2 weeks is huge for the Bengals, and I think it's going to be really interesting of where does everyone end up because of that, because of the way that the buys have all worked. I know you were joking before when you said, hey, we didn't play. I think you guys did have a loss this week. I think all 3 teams winning in the NFC North hurt you guys.
I said we tied. We didn't lose. We tied.
I do think that is not great when when you have a bye and everyone else in your division wins, it hurts you because you essentially it is essentially a loss for you guys. So that's going to be the big thing going forward for the next 2 weeks for the Bengals. I'm not concerned for the Seahawks outside of maybe their red zone. They're still a really good team. I think they're still a pretty scary team in the NFC. They're going to be a real scary wild card.
They are.
I think if they play a Cowboys or a Lions week 1, that's going to be a real scary coin flip of a game. Of who's going to win that, I don't know. But, yeah.
Speaking of the 49ers, let's talk about the game that we dubbed our upset of the week. The 49ers going into Cleveland. Now, look, I said it last week. They're going to lose a game if they have no... they're going to lose a game if they have no business losing. I thought it was Jacksonville, ended up being this. I said in our group chat, I don't want to hear everyone hear the words Brock Purdy MVP in the same sentence, not in the same paragraph. Not in the same essay. Because, yeah. I mean, look, and this comes with the caveat that A, it was raining, weather was pretty bad, and B, they were down a pretty significant chunk of the roster, mainly in the form of Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and for a little bit, Trent Williams.
The Trent Williams one is concerning. I know he came back, but Trent Williams
he's not questionable for next week.
Yeah, the Trent, out of the 3, Christian McCaffrey is the most concerning, then Trent Williams, then Deebo. They've not been using Deebo this year, as my fantasy team very much, unfortunately, has suffered from.
You're 5-1.
This week, I'm so mad. But I think so. That is concerning. Look, I get it. Brock did not play well at all. I think this was easily the worst game of his career so far.
Well, it's also the first game that he lost that he both started and finished.
Yeah, but he did his job. He did his job when there was a minute left on the clock. He got him in field goal range. He did his job, and unfortunately, the kicker missed. Now, he didn't do his job for 3 quarters before that, and you wouldn't have had to rely on a kick at the end of the game. But in that minute, he did his job.
You know what I will say. We said like they're being him being next Tom Brady, and him being the next Tom Brady, and I will say, like playing like shit for the majority of the game and still coming out with the win. That's the most Tom Brady thing you could possibly do. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Playing like shit for the majority of the game, getting out with the win anyways, and getting all the credit is the most Tom Brady thing you could possibly do.
If they won this game, he would have gotten all the credit because it would have been like he won it without McCaffrey and he won it with he did it all without that. It would have driven
And my annoyance with Brock Purdy would have gone through the roof because I don't have a problem with Brock Purdy. I really don't.
Okay, here's the thing: that kick gets made. Brock Purdy is MVP front runner right now. That kick is made. Brock Purdy is the MVP front runner, and I tell you, and you know why? Because there is not an MVP front runner right now. Every other one is shitting the bed too. There is not someone who you can go. They are playing incredibly. Well, there is, but they're not a
TJ Watt.
I said it last week.
I saw what you said last week. I appreciate it. TJ Watt. I like what you said.
The MVP front runner right now, but he won't be because he's a defensive player, and it just won't happen. But no, TJ Watt absolutely should be, but he won't. Look, I don't think this was, and I think this was the game that kind of also went. Yep, Browns have the best defense in football. That Browns defense is fucking scary. And it's legit, and
I'm not really getting the crown of the best, but definitely up there.
If they the Browns are definitely up there. I don't think they're the best, but they're definitely up there. I just want to say F the Browns because and F the 49ers because this cost me my parlay. $300. So screw both those teams because how do you let the Browns with a backup win this damn game?
Yeah, with PJ Walker, who I didn't even know was on the team before this week. When did he get here?
He played pretty well.
He did what he was supposed to do.
Played better than MVP Brock Purdy.
Yeah, the whole thing with Brock Purdy is if you look at a stat line, it's never been impressive. I've been saying this since we played him in week one. He's a good, short throws, lets his receivers and running backs do what they got to do. He's got a great talent around him, but he's not sitting there throwing, 45, 50-yard bombs to people. He's throwing them in space and you're protecting them. And so sometimes that's going to happen and you're going to look better than what you are. But at the same time, they're still a good team. They're a Super Bowl favorite. They're probably going to get to the NFC Championship game. You got to give him his props. My whole thing is the same with the Bengals with the Browns. They've got confidence now. Now, the Ravens who are the favorites in the North and the Steelers should actually really be afraid of the Browns because, like you said, they're a really good defense. And if they can somehow fix their offense, and if they had Nick Chubb still, shout out to Minka Fitzpatrick with that dive to his leg, they would be a really scary team right now. So we got to hope that that offense doesn't get on track because they could definitely be a dark horse and a scary team in the AFC.
Well, also got to shout out Jacob London. He the real killer of Nick Chubb, Jacob London. He did it.
Oh yeah,
I have receipts. I can prove it.
Mike.
Yeah, I really don't have a ton there's not much else to say about this game. All I will say about this game is Matt Thomas. That's probably the biggest win you're ever going to see the Browns get. So enjoy your flowers.
So insufferable. So insufferable.
I
got message right away.
I'm so happy we did not have scheduled for this week because that would have been rough.
The other tech, the Watson's a cancer in this team. I think Watson not playing this game was weird. That was a weird choice. Given
he's medically cleared.
He's been cleared since week 100%. He's been cleared since week 4. So he got medically cleared to play week 4. And he said in week 4, I'm not 100%. We'll check after the bye. They had the bye, and then this game he was like, "Oh nah, I'm not coming back. This is something. This is something just to keep an eye on, and we'll see what happens. If he comes back next week and plays against the Seahawks, then ignore it. It may have.
You know what it is, Jacob. You know what it is, right?
He can't
They
get a
need to send him
massage.
they need to send him to the massage parlor. Just
Yeah,
get
he
a
can't-
massage
he
parlor
can't-
made in a damn stadium, and that guy will play like a damn MVP. Okay, is I don't know. If I was the Browns, I would have had a massage parlor there already made. Okay, and said, do what you got to do so you can play like an MVP. Texans, Deshaun Watson. If that man would have came out throwing 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, you would have known. Oh yeah, he's in the back.
I'm getting my money
Get
worth.
that-
God damn it! We will find a way to get our money's worth.
I mean, you spent all. I mean, seriously, you spent all this money, and if you want to talk about Russell Wilson being one of the worst pickups, this looks actually.
This looks bad.
It looks bad.
We said it 3 weeks ago. Like, I think the Russell Wilson has the worst contract in football. Sorry, was the worst trade in football. I think this is the worst contract in football.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I still think Kyler, but this is up there.
Yeah, but Kyler's just got an ACL injury. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. And we'll see
even
what
before
happens.
even before the injury. But I said it before. Even before the injury, I never liked that contract for Kyler.
No, yeah,
when you got a team coming out saying you're not allowed to play Call of Duty after they pay you, that's a bad contract. You're just saying.
I still think the Russell Wilson one was just dumb because you hadn't seen him play yet. Like, for your team, you didn't have to give him the contract.
That's fair. Up next, we have a perpetual hamster wheel of suck. The Carolina Panthers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Now, I like Frank Reich. I think he's a good coach. This might not be the right fit for him.
Well, he's got nothing.
He's got nothing to work with.
Yeah, they're literally like Adam Thielen is just catching, all of these little 7-yard passes, and that's all they're doing. Like they're aside from that, they're not moving the ball at all. They're not giving any opportunity for Young to improve. He's going to be stuck in this perpetual state of, maybe getting 225 yards, of which half of them are to Thielen, and just Carolina is they don't even have a first round pick this upcoming year. They keep saying they want to trade for a receiver. Who in their right mind is going to take that trade? Like, this is
facts.
Oh man,
and it was still up, and it was still up 14-0 in that first quarter.
I could see a team being like, hang on, we can get rid of honestly, the Broncos. I could see the Broncos be like, where it's like, here's Jerry Jeudy for the 33rd overall pick. Hell yeah, we'll do that deal. I could actually see that team trade one of their receivers to an awful Panthers team.
Do they have their second rounder for next year?
Yeah, they do. They only don't have their first.
They just don't have the first. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't
again
sure.
is going to be go down in history as one of the dumbest trades ever.
Well, hold on. Unless Bryce Young pans out. If Bryce Young pans out and he's great, then this is a problem.
No, I think it's still going to end up being okay. It pans out if Bryce Young down the line is better than Caleb Williams. That's how it pans out. If they seriously gave up Caleb Williams for Bryce Young, and Caleb Williams goes on to win 3 Super Bowls and they don't even win 1, or they win 1, it's going to be one of those. What are you thinking? What will you think? Trubisky has forever and always the weight of he went in front of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but nobody knew who Patrick Mahomes was. Very few people knew. My homeboy told me, he came to me and said, the Steelers need to draft Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. And I go, why? And he's like, trust me. And he's a Kansas City fan. They got him. And now I know why. But
yeah,
I agree with you.
I could not be upset about getting TJ Watt.
Yeah, that's true. But I will say this. Do I really think Caleb Williams is going to win 3 Super Bowls? No, because he's a USC quarterback, and there hasn't been any good USC quarterbacks ever. So, shout out to Matt Leinart. The Bush push. So that was a great play, even though they got blown out by Notre Dame this weekend. I think Bryce Young's going to pan out. I think they started off the rough. I understand why you did it, but trading your number one receiver, even though he went to a horrible team too, was a bad move. You don't have anything for your young quarterback. Like if you would have kept him and brought in your young receiver, at least he had somebody to throw the ball down to. But who does he? I mean, who do they have? Like Thielen, Clark,
DJ
Tribble. Yeah,
What I don't understand is I think they could have very easily traded up to Arizona. I think they could have very easily traded up. They didn't have to go up and get the number one pick. And I think that's going forever and always be the mistake. Was you went up and you went and got the number one pick, which cost you more. I think if you went and got the third or the fourth pick, you weren't having to give up DJ Moore. You weren't having to give up any all these extra other picks. You probably still have to give up your first this year. And yep, all right, you have to probably lose. You'd end up losing Caleb Williams. Let's assume they still have the number one pick this year. But I think that's going to forever and always haunt this team of you could have had a generational quarterback this year.
At the same time, there's no way of knowing that they'd be in contention for number one.
We all knew next year Caleb Williams was next year. Sorry,
they had no idea of they didn't go with the idea of we're gonna be so bad next year. Like they thought Bryce was gonna elevate them. So it has not panned out so far. It could still pan out. So I'm not gonna crucify him for it just yet.
Before we move on, I was just go ahead. Sorry, Jacob.
My takeaway of this: Dolphins really do not have a good defense. They still don't have a good defense, and that's a concern for the Dolphins. You need to go
the Dolphins yet.
Sorry,
I mean when you're dropping 70 on people.
No, I know. Against the worst defense in football. Then they played a real defense and got exposed. You need to they need to go. I know Ramsey's maybe coming back. They need to go out and get a safety. Badly. They need a safety. I don't know who's available, but they need to go out and get one.
There's another team that I think is in desperate need of safety help. We'll get there later. But yeah, look, Miami. Look, they fell behind early, which was shocking to me. I'm just like, wow, you're down 14-0 to the Panthers. What is wrong? What is wrong with you? But then Miami woke up. The offense that was asleep for most of the game turned on. Raheem Mostert had a great game. Tyreek Hill is a god amongst receivers. Oh my god, this dude's incredible. I think well on his way to an offensive player of the year, which would be great because that's who I predicted for offensive player of the year. Tua is playing really well. Again, the offense, when it kicks into gear, very, very, very hard to stop.
Yeah.
Granted, Panthers not a phenomenal defense. They have some good pieces, but nothing that's going to keep you up at night. But still, Miami again, good. I'll say needed win for them, just because, especially going in next week. We'll talk about that later.
Yep. Going into the next 2 weeks. They got a rough couple of weeks, actually.
Anything you want to add, Mike, before we move on?
Yeah, the Dolphins, we know what they are at this point. It's time for that defense to step up, and when they're playing a real team, because say what you will, they put up all these big numbers. Look at who they've played. With the exception of one game, they really have not had much competition, and I think that's going to correct itself soon. We're going to find out a lot about the Dolphins in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game, Indianapolis versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, we thought things might be different. We thought things might be a little closer, but no. Jacksonville is still a death sentence for Indianapolis. And I was wrong earlier. My actual not stunks player. Actually, I'm sorry. I can't do that. He's Hall of Fame, so I can't make him not stunks. That's the rule.
I will. Minshew, not good. Holy crap!
Not good, but again, you cannot make him not stunks.
Look, Gardner Minshew is not a starting quarterback in this league. Holy crap, was he bad? I get he's not the starter; he's the backup, but he was bad.
Well, here's the problem. Indy might be stuck with him for a while. Actually, not that might be. They are going to be stuck with him for a while. Anthony Richardson is undergoing some season-ending shoulder surgery, so he's going to miss the rest of the year.
That sucks.
But there is a path now. I mean, obviously, Indy's not going to be doing much if they win anything. But a certain wide receiver might be able to fill his father's shoes now, which wouldn't that be something?
Or Indianapolis, call the Steelers. We'll give you Mitch Trubisky, and you give us Michael Pittman.
Yeah, that's fair. We will take that. No, you know what, Indy, we will give you Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph free of charge, and then you give us Shane Steichen.
Why are you giving up your two best quarterbacks?
Shut up. I guess it's time out.
Mike, we're not going to deal with that disrespect here, okay?
Time out.
In all
but yeah.
seriousness, Michael Pittman, I don't think if I'm the Colts, you don't trade Michael Pittman. I think he's a good. He will be a good receiver for next year.
For me, he's the most underrated receiver in football.
Yeah, I think he's a really good receiver for them next year when they get honestly next year if they get a top 5 pick, which I think they will give it with Minshew, and I think that they're going to start getting they'll be able to go get a legit weapon, or they'll get picks to be able to go get some decent weapons because everyone's going to. I could really see the Colts being someone who trades down to go and because teams end up wanting to go grab a quarterback. And that group of Pittman, Taylor, and Richardson plus whoever they get, that's going to be a really strong offensive group. They need a defense. They need to figure out something on defense. But right now, the Colts are kind of looking like the Bears last year, and then we've seen what happens this year. But they've got all the right pieces. Unfortunately, they just had a season-ending injury, so we'll see what happens next year.
Mike, you're disrespectful. I can't stand you. My worrisome is my worrisome is, and I keep bringing them up because I keep talking about them. But my worrisome is the Ravens have the picks that they could send, like you just said, Jay, they could send to the Colts to try to get Pittman or a wide receiver off of them. And that's what I'm worried about because right now Odell doesn't look like he's panning out. I don't think Jonathan Taylor's going to go anywhere, and so their best.
He's definitely going anywhere now. He just signed a max extension. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but that's my worrisome. But I think you're right. I think the Colts they might get a top 5 pick, and they'll use that pick to trade to get some weapons or work on their defense. But if you're going to have Anthony Richardson, you need to either get him a line or something, or you need to get him because I think they have weapons. I mean, if they have Jonathan Taylor, yeah. If you keep Michael Pittman, you have weapons. So you got to get him a line. You got to protect them, or you get defense. You work on your defense. So it's one or the other.
All right, moving on to our next game.
Bring Mike back.
I would have brought him back sooner, but he was actually gone. I think he went to get a drink or something. So I gave him extra time. So up next we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Houston Texans. Look, this is the weekend of a lot of streaks ending. CJ Stroud threw his very first interception this weekend. But here's the crazy part. It got fumbled and Houston got it back.
Yeah.
That's what's most impressive about all that.
Yeah, it didn't end up. So he technically hasn't actually thrown a turnover, which is just hilarious. CJ Stroud's legitimately good. Jesus Christ, this kid plays well. Yeah. This kid's good.
Team they need to figure out on offense, the Saints.
That's what I was about to say. We were talking earlier about a couple of teams that lack an identity. Yikes! The Saints, they cannot get anything going.
Yeah,
I mean when your quarterback is David Carr. I mean
Derek Carr.
No, it's Dave. No, that's David Carr. That's not David Carr. That is David Carr.
Derek Carr is not playing badly. He's not playing badly.
He's still in Vegas mode. I was gonna say Oakland, but
he might still
be in Oakland. But I mean, Houston might be that sneaky team in the AFC that can get in the playoffs. I think New Orleans. We all knew that the NFC South was going to be bad, and it's looking really bad. So they could still win their division, which is crazy. But I think you're right. I didn't want to see it, and it really bothers me to say it. But yeah, I think CJ Stroud he's a legit quarterback, and Houston's going to be dealt. They're going to be a team to be dealt with in the next couple of years. So,
This team,
I'm looking forward to that.
Houston is playing with a lot of heart, and they are playing determined. Like that's the team. I don't care what team you are. I don't want to play them right now because that team is going to be throwing everything they have at you every single game.
Well, look, if they, sorry,
I was going to say the last thing on that is like for a team that is in the situation they are in, where they outright pretty much said at the beginning of the year, we are in a rebuild, and they're doing this already. That's terrifying for the future.
Like
I
said,
crazy. Look, go ahead. Sorry.
I think there's half a chance they win their division because I'm still not a big believer in the Jags. I'm not. I
love how just completely opposite you've gone.
I'm not a big believer in the Jags right now. I've yet to really be impressed by them this season at all. So if the Texans pull off that upset, and we thought, oh, whoever gets the whoever wins that division in that fourth seed, it's going to be a walkover game for whoever has that fifth seed in the wild card. You're not beating this Texans team easy in a wild card game. Like this is not going to be an easy win. So it's going to be exciting. This Texans a legit team.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and they legitimately could go finish as a 12-5 team with what they have left: the Panthers, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Jets, Titans twice, the Browns, the Colts. Like they could go 11-6 to 12-5 easily. Easily.
Look, D'Amico Ryan's front runner, easy for coach of the year. I think he has to be right now. I think he's been sensational, and if they go let's say 10-7, like this Texans team who again we were all saying, oh, Arizona is going to be the one who gets 2 top 5 picks. They might not even have 2 top 10 or 2. They might only have a 1 top 10 pick. They might not have
not even 2 top 10 picks. It's ridiculous.
They might not even have 2 top 20 picks.
Have their own. They'll have their own. Don't worry. But like they might not have. The Texans might not have a top 10 pick this year. Like there's a real chance they're going to be outside the top 10, which was unthinkable at the start of the year.
Going into the season, 100%.
Like this, it's D'Amico Ryan. He's my front runner for coach of the year. I think.
I still think you got to go MCDC, but D'Amico Ryan's is up there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm on the same page as you right now, Chance. But look at this Texans
that you
team.
want to agree me with? Okay, I see you.
But take a look at the Texans team right now. Like Nico Collins right now is looking like a stud. Like we didn't have him penciled in for being a top tier receiver, prior to the season. And CJ is just marching down the field at will, which, for a rookie, he looks better than most of the second and third year quarterbacks right now.
Don't you do it, Mike. I know what you're going to say right there. Don't you do it.
So just going back to the Saints, the biggest problem the Saints are going to have, they have never paid their they've never taken the medicine from that all-in year that they didn't win. And like they've just kept kicking that can down the road, and at some point they're going to have to pay it. At some point they're going to have to take the medicine. I think it's going to be next year. Like if they're bad this year, they're going to have to blow this thing up. And it's like their cap number next year is ridiculous.
Yeah. Their kind of rate for the past couple of years has been pretty ridiculous.
Well, they just keep kicking the can down the road. They just keep re-signing and kicking it all down. And at some point, it's going to have you have to pay that bill at some point. And
they are firmly like on pace to get like the number 14 or 15 pick, which is like the worst place you can be. Like,
at least it is. Especially, it's the worst place. It's the worst place you can be when you have that much dead cap.
Exactly.
Because you can't then go out and be like, oh, cool. What we're not getting in the draft, we'll get in free agency. No, you're not going to be able to do any of it.
Right.
The Saints are in trouble. The Saints are in a lot of trouble if they don't have if they don't start winning these games, because their defense is really good, but they don't start actually winning these games that they should be winning, they're in trouble.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our next game. We have a rematch of a game we had last year, although the ending for this one was not nearly as hilarious. The New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
The ending of this was genuinely hilarious. If you're a gambler, holy crap, it was genuinely hilarious.
Well, first of all, what we know, McCorkle Jones still sucks.
Worst quarterback in football right now. So, like,
saying a lot when Zach Wilson is still shorting his stuff.
No, Zach, the way, like, right now, you take Zach Wilson over McCorkle.
There is a slight uptick. Like, I'm not saying Zach is good by any stretch, but he's.
Zach's 31.
He's improved, and Mac is not.
No, yeah. This has been awful. And don't get me wrong, I understand. You know, if Mac Jones had a receiver like Garrett Wilson, then maybe he's better. I'm not going to take that away. I understand he has nothing, and like, if we just want to get to the end of that game, he throws an absolute bomb. That is one of the best passes I've ever seen Mac Jones throw, and it's in his hand. He gets that. They may actually have half a chance, and he drops it. Like, that's like, you can't drop that ball. You cannot drop that ball. That was in your hand, perfect. And then the very next play pisses off anyone who had Patriots +2. Sorry, anyone who had Patriots +2 is fuming at their TV because McCorkle just cost you a lot of money.
I want to make a motion on this show. We will no longer refer to him as Mac Jones. He is McCorkle. We are no longer allowed to call him Mac Jones.
Fair enough.
I think he's not Stonkel.
Like, honestly,
not Stonkel Jones.
No, yeah. Oh god, that safety was the single funniest way that game could have ended. I just, especially as someone who had Raiders -2, I was like, oh god, I'm going to lose -3. Sorry, I had Raiders -3, and I was so mad when they scored that touchdown. And he gets the safety, and it just safety. I was just like, how did this happen?
Unbelievable.
You must have been happy because you actually betted it.
I did. But I lost my parlay anyway, but didn't matter. Again, like Shug, thanks 49ers. Thanks 49ers for costing me money.
Yeah. Raiders. I hate the Raiders, and I will say this
because fuck them. That's why.
Because they cost me my parlay last week when they beat the Packers, and I would have won $300 last week. So screw the Raiders. I don't care about them. I don't want to talk about them. Mike, if you want to talk about them, go ahead. But
yeah, the Raiders are a team that they're very similar to. They're like a poor man's Saints. Like, they have nothing going for them, and they're not even as good as the Saints. You know, we just talked about the Saints and how much of a no man's land they are in. Well, so are the Raiders. So,
not to mention Jimmy G's once again crucified for his sins.
Yep.
He was hurt. Brian Hoyer stepped into the game, which I forget that dude is still in the league.
The immortal Brian Hoyer.
The immortal Brian Hoyer.
Let me ask you guys: do you think Devontae Adams is going to get traded?
He should. I don't know why he's not. I think they're winning too much for me.
Them winning this game and most likely winning next week against the Bears they're going to be a 4-3 team.
Yeah,
they're going to stick with him. There's no way that they can
unless he demands to be traded and sits out. Then he's not going.
That's the only way. Like, at this point, they're not trading him. He's someone who'll probably get traded in the off season, realistically, when they try and move up to draft a quarterback. But realistically, they're not. Adams is staying at the Raiders
again, unless he demands his release, which I could see him doing. Because every time you see Devontae Adams in an interview, he just looks like he wants to go home.
He don't want to be there. He really doesn't want to be there. Very clearly.
Up next, we got NFC West showdown: the Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. Look, as much better as the Rams were looking the past couple of weeks, first couple of weeks, I should say, they're now starting to look like the team we thought they would be coming into the season.
And so are the Cardinals. At that,
I'm sorry. Yeah. I meant to the Cardinals. I meant to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on the Rams too, though, because the Rams have not looked as good. You know, they did okay, this week against the Cardinals, but if the Rams were playing a decent team, I don't think they win that game. I 100% think that the Cardinals, though, they came out on fire the first 3 weeks, and now they are what we expected.
Yeah. The Rams, the biggest problem the past couple of weeks was like they were not a second half team.
Yeah.
Here was the opposite. They were not a first half team, like at all.
Yeah, no. Someone's reminded the Cardinals, "Hey, we're tanking." And the coach has started to go, "Oh shit, hang on. There's a chance we don't even have a like." There was a chance at some point they were like 7th or 8th pick, which is not great for them either. Like, given where they were, so like, oh, hang on, no, we got to stop trying to win these games. And now they're probably going to have a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I think right now they'd be 4 because the official list came out. They'd be 4, I believe, right now.
So
I want them to finish. I want them to finish first, so they can get the first round pick, just to take Caleb Williams, just to
out of your conference,
just to throw a wrench into everything, because it'd be hilarious. It would be
the
a Cardinal thing to do.
Guarantee the NFL is genuinely terrified that the Broncos are going to get Caleb Williams. They are mortified of that reality. And I think if that happens, a lottery is introduced this year. I think they actually introduce a lottery if that happens, because again, that's going to be another incredibly talented quarterback that goes to the AFC.
I mean, if they didn't do it for Tila, I don't know if they're going to do it for Caleb Williams.
But the AFC wasn't as loaded as it is now. When
fair.
T-Law went in. That's the problem. Like they're just the divide between the NFC and the AFC is ridiculous right now, especially now that CJ Stroud is looking like a really good quarterback. Richardson's looking like he was going to be until he got injured. Like, they're looking like they're good quarterbacks, and compare McCorkle, Wilson, and this isn't meaning to be offensive, but Pickett. But Pickett's third last, and Pickett isn't that bad. Like, he is not third.
Nice to hear about Kenny Pickett. Shut up, Mike.
But he is not. Pickett is not the third worst quarterback in the. He would be probably 9th, 8th, maybe even better in the NFC. In the AFC, he is a bottom 5 quarterback, if that. Just because of how loaded the AFC is right now.
That's fair.
I was a fan of you one time. Just say that. No, I know. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there. But point is, back to this game. Shut up, Jacob. I see you shaking your head. Shut up. You too, Mike. Again, Rams, what they were able to do in the second half, they rallied, which is something I had not seen them do all year. Granted, it's against the horrible Arizona unit, but still, steps. Cooper Kupp showing up. I did not get the stats of Puka Nacua this week. I don't think they were as good as previous weeks.
No, he only had 3 receptions for 30 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like the Puka love affair is about to end
because of Kupp.
Because now we're coming back to the Cooper Kupp show again, and if they do that, that's gonna be a problem for LA in the future. Kyron Williams had a really good game. Makes you wonder what the hell Cam Akers did to piss off Sean McVay so much that he could not do anything in this offense.
Yeah, Cam Akers is done.
Yeah, did he even play? Did he even play in
Minnesota? He's not on the Rams anymore. He got traded.
No, did he even do anything for Minnesota yet?
He's had just a few carries. It's not much.
Granted, he just got there. He's probably still learning the playbook, but still. This is I would say a mid off, but I don't think Arizona's very mid. I think they're just flat out bad, and they're literally becoming the team we thought they were going to be coming into the year. They were scrappy at first, but
Heart can only get you so far, and that's what they've been playing with Heart. But their talent is just not there. They just don't have the talent. Connor being out was a devastating blow. You can tell that the talent's just not there. They're trying though, and it's only going to get you so far in the NFL.
Okay. You know what? For that comment, Mike, I'm putting you back. I'm putting back in time as we talked the game of the week. Philadelphia. You have to sit there back there as we talk about.
No, bring
Eagles
him
versus-
on for his game of the week. Come on,
No.
he has earned this moment.
No,
Come
he has
on.
not.
Hey, we gave you your moment last week. Bring Mike for his.
Not that he apologizes.
This is the single biggest win for the Jets all year.
That is true, and he has to watch from the
All right.
sidelines.
Bring Mike back.
Um,
Let Mike have his moment. Mike.
This is another one of those games that I cannot even quantify. Somebody should have been recording me during this game because you saw the gamut of emotions come out. By the end of this game, I was literally at the bar I was at, just couldn't even sit down anymore. I was holding the back of my chair and gripping it as hard as I can. I'm surprised I didn't break the chair. But this game was such a shock because everything on paper, no Gardner, no Reed, you had no AVT, and Tipman goes down during the game. All of these factors going against them, and somehow the Jets defensive scheme just threw Jalen Hurts off completely. Quincy Williams had such pressure on him almost the entire game that when you had was Brandon Eccles and Bryce Huff on Bryce Hall as your cornerbacks against AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and they couldn't do much. I mean, yes, Brown's numbers were high, but he wasn't a factor in the game after the second half. The Eagles did not score a point in the second half. That's insane. That is absolutely insane right there. And this is another game that Zach Wilson did not play great at all. He did not. He played a pretty mediocre game, if I'm being honest. This was 95% on the defense. And
no, that Jets defense, phenomenal. I have never seen a team in the past season and change. I've never seen a team play the Eagles that physically until the Jets.
They beat him up. They really beat him up.
And the Williams brothers, both of them. Holy crap, Quinnen and
I didn't realize Quincy was older than Quinnen.
Yeah, he came into the league first.
Interesting.
Going on to the Eagles, Lane Johnson, huge out. That
was major.
Well, that's the thing. They also came in with missing a big chunk of their secondary. And this is a team I was talking about earlier that I think really could use some safety help. If I'm the Eagles, if I'm Howie, I'm calling the Broncos. Say, what do you have for Justin Simmons? I'm calling the Cardinals. What do you have for Budda Baker?
Mm-hmm. This is what I've been concerned about with the Eagles all season, is their secondary. This has been the concern all year, is their secondary is not great. And I am very concerned about them. Look, I'm not going to torture Jalen Hurts for this. I think
no.
They found a way to beat him.
He had 3 picks. Look, I'll say Jalen Hurts. He showcased some really, really excellent improvisational skills. Like the way he was able to maneuver the pockets and get out and extend plays. I'm like, that's incredible. I thought that was great. Yeah. He had 3 picks. 2 of them were not his fault. One. No. Goddard had it, but he got knocked out of his hands and into the hands of Quinnen Williams. Second one, he got hit as he released, and Quincy Williams caught it. They're the first brothers to catch interceptions in the same game in over a decade.
The last one was bad. The last one was genuinely bad, and that's one of those. Why you did not need to make that throw.
They didn't need to throw. They should have kept the ball on the ground there.
They're up, and that's why there's a part of me that goes, "That's on Sirianni. Why are you making that? Why are you making that play call right there?" This not a great week for coaches. Really not a great week for coaching at all. For a lot of teams, I thought Sirianni was bad. Had a really bad play calling week. I thought Kyle Shanahan had a really bad play calling week. The Monday night game, whatever that fucking mess was, both of them were terrible.
We'll get there.
And the Sunday night game, not good from either side. This was not a great week for coaching at all.
But this game did. Right now, I'm terrified of this, but I think it's going to happen. That Ulbrich is going to become somebody's head coach next year after what he's doing with this. Like he's got to be way up there, and deservedly with what he's doing right now, deserves it.
With what I've been saying about Dan Quinn, I think he's taken that job. Like how I've been saying, Dan Quinn's going to get a head coaching job next year. Yeah, no, they're Jets.
I mean, he should have been in the conversation to begin with, like Dan
Yeah.
Quinn, considering what he did to Atlanta.
Look,
try and defend Dan Quinn.
no, I'm not going to defend Atlanta outside of the fact he did get them to a Super Bowl
and proceeded to immediately blow it away.
There is a Super Bowl run inside of that. Like, I'm not going to completely shutter a man entirely when look at what he's doing with this Cowboys defense. But we'll get to that game.
Again, the Dan Quinn is the one guys. I think he's always been a better DC than he was a head coach. Like, stick what you get at. Be a DC.
But I think the biggest heartbreak from this game, more than anything, is just, my God, what this team could have been. Because we were saying at the start of the year, with Aaron Rodgers, 3-3 with Aaron Rodgers.
No, not we. You. Okay.
3-3 with Aaron Rodgers would have been incredible against the gauntlet that they started the season with. They play who they have played have been incredibly tough teams. To be 3-3 would have been absolutely phenomenal. 4-2 would have been even better. With Aaron Rodgers in this team, I really do think that they're 5-1. I think the one loss is the Cowboys game. I think that's the one loss to them.
And the thing right now, being realistic, the Jets have a bye right now, so which perfect timing considering especially the two cornerbacks, being able to get them healthy over the bye. The next few weeks, they have a game sprinkled in here and there that are a little difficult, but compared to what they just faced, their schedule opens up a lot.
Well,
I don't think
good.
Yeah, I don't think right now, they are. I feel like what I was talking about with the Saints earlier, they are in that same pocket in terms of what the record could be. Not in terms of what the team is, but what the record could be. They're going to be, unfortunately for me, in that window of, all right, we're just outside the playoffs, which will suck. But compared to last year, what a difference.
See, I think they're a 10-7. At this point, I think there's a real chance they can go 10-7, which I don't know is going to be enough for a playoff spot, and that I think is the problem.
That's
Whereas,
the
I thought at the start of the year, 10-7 might have gotten you into the playoffs. Given what Steelers are doing, what the Browns are doing, and what the Ravens are doing, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think 11's going to have to be is going to be the cutoff this year. But we'll see. Because the big question mark is, will Zach Wilson throw games away? He hasn't, since the Chiefs game, he hasn't thrown any games away. He didn't throw away the Broncos game and this game. He didn't throw them away. The defense obviously won them, but he didn't throw a pick at the last second. There's a very real chance when they're on the 15-yard line, where you sitting there going, Zach Wilson could throw a pick here and cost us this game.
Oh, yes, 100% that. And the second was when Hall scored with so much time left on the clock, I was just cursing at him for scoring.
Well, that too.
I said the same thing and it was like, oh God, no.
Yeah, well, you could tell the Eagles even went. Honestly, if he tried to go down, I think the Eagles would have picked him up and dragged him in. I really think the Eagles were just look, you're scoring. We want the ball back. We don't care. I really think that's where the mindset was. But realistically, for the Jets, I think they have they play relatively easy defenses and relatively easy offenses. So I think if their defense can keep teams to less than 14 points, which again, that's going to be a big question mark. But I think that I really do think that they could be a 10-7 team, given who they play going forward.
Wait, I'm sorry. Look at the chat right now. Hey, do you eat a danger witch on camera? Why?
Oh yeah, last year after we played each other in fantasy, we did a stream that he had to eat a danger witch, and like the aftermath of the danger witch, like we were just getting in our private group chat, was like, yep, still feeling the aftermath of that. So much sodium, holy crap.
I'm like, okay, maybe you're just old because I actually like the danger. I liked the danger witch when it was available. But the question is, like, can it just stay afloat long enough for their savior to possibly return?
He's not
Because
coming
there
back.
is a lot. I know there isn't, but like, what if it does? What if Aaron Rodgers does come back this season?
He's not coming back. I think. Look, I think the footage is incredible. It looks awesome, but he's not coming back because there is a difference between lightly throwing the ball 5 yards and actually playing in the 3 toughest weeks of the year in the NFL. He'd be going up against legitimately great teams having not played for a year or for 4 months or whatever it ends up being. There's no way he's coming back. I'm like, this
Mike,
isn't
Mike, what say you as a resident Jets fan?
I mean, I'm on the same page of like, this is absurd. That what he's trying to do is absolutely batshit insane. I don't want him to come out too soon and do something that fully jeopardizes what we could have for next year. But at the same time, like if he's fully medically cleared, you go with it. But I just don't see it happening any earlier than the second round of the playoffs, if then. And that requires making it.
On the other hand, with the Eagles, though, last year when they lost to Washington, that was a signal for them to load up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're starting to do right now, because we got word today that Julio Jones has signed a deal to play with the Eagles for this season.
Yeah. For nothing.
Okay.
Like, yeah. No, I don't know.
Was that? I mean, is it another weapon though?
Yes.
I think it's
Can he catch the ball? Can he catch?
No, I think
yes.
Yeah, I think for essentially using him as a tight end, but not as not in the blocking kind of way, but just he's just in there, those little slot receiver. I think that this is a good pickup for them. I think
he's only getting 1 or 2 targets a game.
Yeah, I think I do.
Targets, it helps.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly. I don't think it's dumb to pick him up. I think if he's.
No, I'm not saying that.
I think Julio Jones is costing himself money because I think other teams would have picked him up for more.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
he's got one though. He's got one. Like I think it's. I thought didn't he have one wasn't he on that Bucks team?
No.
Oh, he's the next year. That's right. Yeah, he was the next year.
Yeah, right. He Julio is like fully ring chasing, and look, this is only the first. If I know Howie Roseman, I feel like this is only the first movie. He's going to do some more. We're going to hear some more stuff the Eagles are going to do to try and load up for another Super Bowl run, because this is exactly what we did last year. They lost to the Commies, loaded up, and they were good for the rest of the year.
No, that is the Eagles. I'm not entirely worried about. I do think that again, if there was a week to lose, this was apparently the week to fucking do it. So, like, it's not the end of the world losing this week. I think everyone else is kind of, I don't know who's good at the moment. So, yeah.
Well, I could say for certainty one team who's definitely good. Detroit Lions. God, that's still so weird to say. They came into Tampa, smacked Baker in the face, left his bloody corpse all over Raymond James Stadium, and proceeded just to light the whole thing on fire.
You know, I joked around and said Steve Smith for Stonks Player of the Week. My actual on the field Stonks Player of the Week is Amon-Ra St. Brown. What a game!
See, mine's this game too. Mine's Jared Goff. Jared Goff was awesome in this game.
I want to see him do it again next week. If he does, legitimate MVP candidate. Legitimately. There is going to be a conversation, and also Dan Campbell joins the Coach of the Year conversation. Like,
he's already there.
But I think he ends up becoming like a serious, actual, genuine contender. Because I think it goes between two. It goes between him and D'Amico. Like at the moment. The Lions, again, look, the Lions have been very good. Very, very good. They're obviously the hot favorite after this weekend. And right now, you don't want to be the hot favorite. It's like the kiss of death because next week they'll lose. I need to see them doing it against good teams. Unfortunately, Bucks are a good team, but Bucks are a mid-range team.
They're a good defense.
Yeah, no, they are a good defense.
They did it against Kansas City.
This is not an attack on the Lions.
Sounds like an attack on the Lions.
No, okay, all right. For me, Lions are third in the NFC. I can't put them number one just yet because the two teams they've lost, the two best teams they've played, they beat the Chiefs in a game where the Chiefs dropped the ball and should have won that game. The Chiefs win that game if the receivers are competent, and the Seahawks like they're the two toughest teams they have played, and they didn't win them comfortably. Next week's a great test for them. I need to see them next week. It's like if it's a close game and they just lose it, I will still give them credit. If they win it, even more credit. Next week is a massive test for the Lions, and that's the week I need to see them do it.
So you mentioned the Seahawks. For whatever reason, the Seahawks seem to have their number. Like that's the one team Detroit does not want. Like if that's a playoff matchup, they're hitting the panic button because for whatever reason the Seahawks have the Lions number. But the Lions right now, they're another team that is doing this with depth. Like they've multiple games have had star players, injured and down, and now they're looking at they have their third string running back and. They're down there 1, 2, and 4 running back right now. So they're playing super thin there. Their tight end is hurt, and yet they're going out there and biting kneecaps just like Dan Campbell told them to. So, this defense, I would venture to say last year was very good. This year is borderline elite. And with the team playing as hot as they are right now, they're playing like Houston's playing, but with more talent.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch any of this game, Sugar, or just Lions in general this season?
I've got to watch the Lions, and my boss is a Lions fan.
Oh, really?
They look good. I mean, Garrett, as much as we get on Jared Goff, I mean, he did take the Rams to the Super Bowl. He was a part of that. You can say what you want about the guy, but he knows how to play winning football. Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. It is what it is. I think the Lions, I agree with Jacob. They're probably the number 3 team in the NFC. And, I don't know if you were saying the NFC or the whole NFL, but I would say in the NFC.
That's what he said.
But they can get, like he said, if next week, they could come out with a win. You got to put them up there. Can they continue to do it for the whole season, Like you said, you're picking them now and saying, "Oh, you look at this team," and then all of a sudden it just goes downhill. So we'll see what they could do. So I'm not sold on them yet, but I'm not going to say they're a bad team. I'm not going to say they're not a good team. They are a good team. They're the Lions. Like we're so used to them being bad. Yeah, same old Lions. Like we'll see what happens. And are you eating Panda Express? That looks amazing. I want some orange chicken now. God dang it.
All right. Moving on to our Sunday night game, we had the New York Giants versus Buffalo Bills.
Do we have to move on to this game? Can we go to sleep?
I'd rather not. I'd very much rather not. I'd rather not.
No. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this because look, they were down their $40 million man in Daniel Jones, so Tyrod Taylor stepped in and let's be quite frank, looked significantly better than Daniel Jones has the next couple weeks. Against the better defense Daniel Jones faced too. Well, minus 40.
I called this last week. I said don't bet on this game because one, I hated the line. I thought the line was ridiculous. But also I was like, hey, I want to see this defense now that we've lost half of our fucking defense and it's basically a backup at the moment. I want to see how they go. Daniel Jones not playing actually made me more worried because I think Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. So
you mean he proved it this night?
But not only that, he knows our team. Like he knows the
That's true. He
Bills.
was a Bill.
And like and it was just a perfect storm of shit, of just no, I don't want this game, especially not this game being in prime time, because we have not played well in prime time this year. So yeah, no, this was, I didn't want this. And what happened? We played like fucking trash.
Yeah,
We were awful.
I saw what. Mike, why? Why do you gotta keep doing this? Do I attack Zach Wilson? Okay, yes, I do. But you attack Zach Wilson. That's why I do it. I don't do it because I hate Zach Wilson. I do it because you say it's okay. I don't have the energy to put you back in timeout. Just don't do it again.
No, in all seriousness, I'm concerned, but I'm also kind of willing to just kind of write this one off as a circumstance of they had a head coach who knows our team inside and out. They had a quarterback who knows our team inside and out. It's the first time we had a backup defense playing. I'm kind of willing to just write this one off as we played bad, but we got away with this one. We really got away with it. Thank Christ we got a win.
You did, because look, the Giants had weirdly enough, Giants had plenty of chances to win this game. They really did. Twice. Yeah. They were on the 1 yard line. First one was going into halftime, where they could have taken a 2-possession lead on the Bills. They have no time left on the clock. Sorry. They have 14 seconds, no timeouts. And they decide to run the ball. I'm just like, what? Why did you do this? Second one came after the game, where there was a PI penalty in the end zone. There's going to be one more untimed down, and that was going to decide the game. The Giants had a chance to win it there too, and they failed to convert. There was a look. You saw the replay. There was a really badly missed PI.
It's 100% holding.
No, 100% is. Here's the problem though. Where the ref? I understand why it was not called, because where the ref was, it was hard to see in real time.
Not only that,
this is a larger thing. Like, I think the NFL really needs to consider bringing back the reviewability of PI, because like this keeps happening. And maybe a way we can look at this.
I don't disagree, but I also look that one there specifically. The ref was never going to call that, even if he could see it. You don't ever call PI. They were never going to call PI twice. And teams know that. They just don't. They never call it twice in a row. And that's why they ran the risk. And that paid off. And yeah, I understand why Daybell was furious.
I was for that, because like not gonna lie, Brian Hill being pissed is one of my favorite things in the NFL right now. Like I love seeing that little dude get angry.
Brian, it is hilarious. He really needs to pull it back. That was a bad look. That was a really bad look at the end of the first half. For him, very, very clearly going, this wasn't my fault. Like him very publicly throwing his backup quarterback under the bus. It's not a good look. And I love Daybell. I want Daybell back on our team, but that's not a good look, really.
Look, he did fair. He threw Daniel Jones under the bus several times before this.
Yeah, and I know. And
Taylor under the bus too.
Yeah, I just think that's concerning. That is really concerning for your head coach, very clearly getting extremely emotional on the sideline in a negative way, and negatively impacting the team. I think it's concerning.
Yeah. Conversely, though, Bills. I mean, I thought about on London potentially on fraud to watch for the year. Potentially.
I'll give you that. It's a potential, but we'll see what happens. I'm willing, like I said, I'm willing to kind of just paper over this one as a perfect storm of just everything going wrong. We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, next week you really need to do something. Just quick poll for the panel, real quick. Was this the worst Sunday night game of the year so far.
Mike, if you say
know.
anything right now, Mike, if you
We
even
have not
say
played.
it.
Oh, we did play Sunday night. We did.
Yeah, we did.
Come on.
No, I
Come
mean,
on.
Cowboys Giants was way worse. I mean, that was unwatchable. So
That's fine. Giants are responsible for two of the worst Sunday night games of the year. Speaking of the Cowboys, let's finish this out with our Monday nights. Dallas Cowboys versus Los Angeles Chargers. A game we thought would be a shootout. Oh God, were we wrong? We were so wrong.
this game was terrible too.
This game was awful.
Awful. This game was friggin' awful.
All for you because whoever won, you were gonna sleep on the couch.
Yeah. I think. Okay, and for some reason, Dak's been getting flowers today, and I don't understand why. Because look, Herbert didn't play great. He didn't play good at all. Actually, he was pretty bad. But he also went up against a genuinely good defense.
A good
Dak went up against one of the worst defenses in football and only got 3 extra points.
Right.
That's concerning. The Cowboys are not okay. Fully taking it back, Cowboys cannot make the Super Bowl with this team right now. They can't. With Mike McCarthy at head coach, who holy crap was he bad yesterday, and like he was in a team in a game where Brandon Staley was the other coach. Mike McCarthy was somehow worse. I don't understand that.
You got outplayed by Brandon. I'm sorry. You got outcoached by Brandon Staley and Kelmore, but you still lost the fucking game.
I just
You still won the game, I should say.
Oh, he was awful. Like the one. Okay, no, this one pissed me off so much, and I just am sitting there going, "What are you doing?" I'm sorry, I'm not letting anyone else get words in. I need to vent about this one. Your $45 million quarterback with 14 seconds left, you decide we're not going to call the timeout. We're just going to kick the field goal. You don't even give him a chance to throw one ball. That's fucking fireable right there. I don't understand. I really don't understand that.
Well, you also could have gotten one shot, at least like one shot at the end zone before kicking.
That's what I mean. But he didn't even do that. That's what he ran the clock down to 3 seconds and took the timeout. He went, we're just going to take the field goal. We're not even.
When you got Justin Herbert on the other sideline too, that's kind of crazy. Shug, did you get a chance to see any of this?
I did not watch this game, to be honest with you, because what was I doing? This was Monday night or something.
Anything else?
Night,
yeah.
Well, I don't really want to watch the Cowboys. Like, just to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'd rather watch the Jets or I'll watch the Bills. I don't want to watch the Cowboys, man.
That's
like
fair.
It's like watching the Raiders.
Well, you know what, Shug, I will say, you did miss another someone who was very close to being stonks of the week for me, and someone who wasn't even on the field.
I mean, just pure ecstasy for this Chargers fan, as the Chargers have tied it at 17.
If there's a definition of pure ecstasy, that's it.
Later that same evening.
Gets rid of it and he's picked. Intercepted.
I have no idea who that woman is.
So I don't know.
I'm already demanding that she gets more screen time than Taylor Swift at every game.
Oh my God.
I don't know how. I don't know if you guys are like big TikTok people. I'm a huge. Let me tell you, that's the devil. I swear to God. But they saying that actually she's a NFL plant.
No,
She's not.
She's not.
You see the picture in the Vikings?
Well,
Yeah. Have you read the actual story?
I don't read, Jacob. I just make shit up.
Her son is the football team is her son's high school football team are called the Vikings. So that's her son's uniform. It's not actually the Vikings. It's her son's uniform. And
well, the internet, you just can't believe anything on the internet these days. Good Lord.
But yeah,
we hooked, line, and sinker.
There's one random moment. I guess it's like some kind of story interview. I don't want to read it. I just want to know. I just want her to be like ever-present Chargers fan. Who was the Chargers fan? Everybody. Like I feel like Taylor was the same way. We're just like, you're so great, And no matter what you do, vintage charging always wins out. Always.
So what I was going to say, we talked about last year how Minnesota was like always winning these absurdly tight window games. The Chargers are the mirror image of them this year. Like they are losing everything so close, and like they've been in every single game.
Staley can't be the coach next year. He can't.
You want to know why? You want to know why? Because instead of letting the Raiders get into the playoffs, they kicked the field goal, and ever since then, it has been downhill.
Oh, it's gotten so much worse.
That was a legitimate we're both gonna get in the playoffs, right? No, we're gonna put you out. And ever since then, they're like,
time out. You take this, Raiders. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, see, it also Staley can't be the coach next year. Ben Johnson, welcome. You better start finding properties in LA because that's the gig you're getting. Yeah, they need an offensive coach because the stupid thing, and here's the thing: the roster's good, but it also isn't young. That roster's old. Like Eckler, Williams, and I know Williams is out for the year, but Eckler, Williams, and Allen, they're not young players. They're old players. Johnson hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like Quentin Johnson might be the biggest wasted talent in the NFL right now. I don't mean wasted as been like he's like squandering his own talent. I mean like he's on a team that refuses to use him.
Yeah, and this is where you got to get rid of Staley. He's just not good. Brandon Staley needs to be gone. He's not good on this team. He's just. He's been there for 4 years, and they have been, they've squandered Herbert's talent in those 4 years. I
feel bad for Herbert, but he signed the extension. He chose this life.
Yeah, but it's hard to say no to $200 million.
So another team will give him that.
But you're there for 3 more years, and you don't know that you could get a season-ending injury. You could get a career-ending injury tomorrow.
You can do that. That's ridiculous.
I know, but if he gets a career-ending injury tomorrow with a $200 million contract, he gets his $200 million.
Look at J.K. Dobbins.
I understand why it's really hard to say no to that contract. It's really hard.
Come on, Jacob. You would say no to $200 million.
Easy. But that's where the Chargers are right now. This year is probably a write-off. They got a brutal schedule coming up. Chiefs, they got to bye this week, then Chiefs, then with
the Chargers. I think you need to fire Brandon Staley, and then in the draft, just take the best defender you can possibly get.
Yeah, but the problem, their defense is a problem, but it's not the personnel. It's because they have very good talent on defense. They just don't use them. Staley inherited a top 10 defense, and it's now second worst in the league because the Broncos exist.
I think there's still the worst passing defense in the league. They still hold that title.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it for our week recap before Jacob has an aneurysm. That's gonna do it for our week 6 recap. But now look forward to our week's prediction as well as stonks or not stonks. On a bye this week, we got the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Titans, the Jets, and the Panthers. So since he doesn't have a dog in this fight, I will turn over stonks duty to Mike this week. Starting with Thursday Night Football, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New Orleans Saints.
It's Trevor is the question mark.
Yeah. Trevor's the big question mark. Look, if you think he's going to play like I do, you need to bet now. If you're going, you can get Jacksonville and you can get a point. If you're going to bet, if you believe Trevor Lawrence is playing, take that bet. If you don't think he's going to play, then don't bet on this game. But that's the risk you're going to take. But because you're getting a point, Vegas is hedging their bet. They're not sure. I'm very curious. If Trevor doesn't play, I'm really curious to see how this Jags offense goes against that Saints defense, because that Saints defense is actually really good. It's just the problem is that Saints offense is awful. So I'm still going to go Jags in this. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God, I'd love it if the Saints pulled off an upset. I think it would just be fucking hilarious. But I'm going to go Jags.
Check what you got.
I got the Jags too.
Check.
Yeah, I'll go Jags. I didn't want to, but I'll go Jags.
Jags across the board.
All right, so we'll go on the other side of the ball, though. The Saints, somebody who I think is underperforming at the moment, but is waiting on his breakout game. Chris Olave.
Against this Jags defense, I think he could actually. I think he could have it.
I'm not early about the Jags second. I'll go Stonks.
Yeah, I'll go Stonks.
Check.
Sure.
All right, Stonks across the board for Chris Olave. Moving on to our Sunday slate, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Chicago Bears. Thank God this is early.
Also known as they're not fucking watching this game.
So, like,
Raiders, come on, Jacob. Let's do a live watch along.
Fuck that.
The Raiders are notoriously bad in the early window, but it's the Bears. It's like, oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Good.
With assuming Fields doesn't play, I'm going to say the Raiders pull this off because I think even without, I think, they'll still actually be half decent because I think Stidham's at least somewhat better.
Yeah. I mean, it's Jimmy Garoppolo.
If Garoppolo plays, which we're not 100% sure on either.
This is a hard one. This again, I'm not touching as far as betting goes.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Raiders, especially again if it's. Let me check my notes again. Ty Bagent.
I don't believe you.
that's not a real person. If it's the Madden sim player with normal development known as Ty Bagent, I am leaning Raiders.
All right, let's go. Easy one, Josh Jacobs. What do you think?
Ooh.
On this Bears defense, yeah, he's going to run.
I think he has a big game.
Check what you got.
Yeah, he's going to have a big game.
All right, yeah, I'm going to start for Josh Jacobs as well. Up next, Cleveland Browns versus Indianapolis Colts.
Why? Why do we deserve this?
As much as I want the Colts to win, I feel like it's going to be Browns.
Browns -2. And I get that's because Watson might not be playing, but even without Watson playing, Colts aren't winning this game. I take the -2. I eat the points. This is absolutely eat the points on this one. I'm taking the Browns.
The Browns are going to turn Minshew over multiple times, and I think they will have a defensive touchdown in this game. I think that this is pretty much a gimme.
Yeah, I think Browns defensively, maybe not offensively will score, but defensively they'll get some takeaways, easy points. And look, who is Hunt? Is Hunt running the ball for the Browns right now?
It's Hunt and Ford.
Yeah.
Ford? I think Ford's going to have a big game. 2 touchdowns, 97 yards.
Wow. So let's go to the other side of the ball. The recently comeback of Jonathan Taylor.
Not Stonks.
Exactly.
Not Stonks.
Not against that defensive line. No.
Bad game.
He will get a lot of carries and they're for nothing. Absolutely nothing because they'll try and he won't get anything.
All right, up next we got the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. Now, real quick question, and maybe you guys know this: has Bill Belichick ever lost 4 games in a row?
I don't think so.
Maybe on the Browns.
Yeah, maybe not for the Patriots.
As the Patriots head coach, has he ever lost 4 games in a row for the Browns?
Not
for the Patriots. Okay, so I feel like he's gonna do it this week because I feel like the Bills are. I even with their makeshift defense right now, they can still beat McCorkle Jones and the Patriots.
He has lost 4 games in a row.
Really, as the Patriots coach?
That was in 2002. They finished 9-7 and failed to make the playoffs a year after winning the Super Bowl.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Not since 2002, but it's gonna happen again 20 years later.
I was just fresh out of high school. Crazy.
I'm not even gonna say where I was because I'm not gonna be angry.
I was in college, so yeah.
I was in junior.
Damn, Mike, you're that much older than me? You look like you're 10.
There's
I
a-
only won 3 days.
Okay, this is not meant as an insult to him, but it's going to come across as that. There's a very real chance Bill Belichick breaks the losingest record this season.
The losingest record?
He needs 8
Wow.
Oh, for the most losses of all time.
for the most losses of all time. If he gets 8 of them, he'll have the losingest record of all time. Which, like, again, there's a very real chance at some point in his career he'll have the highest and the losingest, which is just a sign of longevity. But like,
Yeah.
you
If
know,
he hits losingest first, that'd be.
there's a real look. I think you put money on him getting it first, but it's does he get it? Does he get it next year, or does he get it this year, or does he not?
Given where the Patriots are going, I would say this year.
Yeah, like 8 losses. That's a real chance between now and the end of the year. Bills win this. Don't bet on it. It's 9 points. I don't want to cover 9 points.
I took them. I took the money line. So I didn't take the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
yeah.
so let's go for the New England Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson.
It's hard to run on Buffalo, so I'm gonna say not stunks.
No, actually, I think they can't. I think he'll go stonks given what Barkley was able to fucking do last week.
All right, check your tiebreaker.
Not stonks.
All right, not stunks on Ramondre Stevenson. Up next in another matchup of why are we doing this? Is a bad week for football. Now I'm looking. This is a bad week for football. Washington Commanders versus New York Giants. Can I get a refund on my Sunday ticket?
The one positive, at least they didn't, flex this to Sunday night football like they did last year.
Good. That's right. I forgot about that.
I got Washington again.
Yeah,
I got Washington. I think they're just offensively right now they're just playing better.
Yeah, I did. I got Washington. Jay, what you got?
Should I go Giants just to be?
Yeah, why not?
No,
Go for the Giants.
You know what? I'm gonna go Giants. Barkley about to have a 150 game, 2 touchdowns. Let's go.
All right.
So we'll go for. I'll throw a little bit of a wrinkle on this one. How about Antonio Gibson?
I'm saying not stonks. If there's gonna be a stonks running back for New York, it's gonna be Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
That's it. That's in New York. Fuck. Yeah, I meant Washington.
Washington, yeah. I'm gonna say not stonks.
Yeah, I'll go not stonks.
Not stonks for A Gib. Up next, Atlanta Falcons versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The bounce back game, Bucks win this. Bucks are a better team. Bucks are actually a half decent team. But they're on that, like, they're not going to beat good, like really good teams, but they can beat like mediocre to bad teams. Do you know what I mean?
All right, here's what I'll say. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I say the Falcons win this, and I say they win it because Taylor Heineke comes in the game.
Ooh, this is our first game we see Heineke.
I think so. I think this is the point where Heineke comes in, and Heineke is going to be the reason they win this game.
I could see that. I actually could see that.
I'm going to go with the Bucks. Heineke coming in wouldn't shock me. Like this Bucks defense with Ritter playing, if Ritter plays the way he did last week against this Bucks defense, he's going to pay. Like they will make him pay way more than Washington did. So I do think that there is a viable chance we could see Heineke, but I don't know that Heineke can dig them out of the hole that they're going to be in.
Go to work, Taylor. You can do this.
Yeah, I wanna take the Bucks. I really do. Yeah, we'll go Bucks.
I want to hit the Bucks. And
hey, if you were about to say you can't take the Bucks because of Baker, I was like, he won a playoff game more recently than you guys. So
okay, you know what?
This is why I'm not. Yeah, thank you. The disrespect on this stream tonight with Mike and Jacob. Good Lord.
So recent playoff winner Baker Mayfield. Stocks or not stocks?
Atlanta's defense is actually not bad, so I'm going.
They're
I'm
not.
going on Stunks.
Yeah, I'll go not stonks.
And Jacob, nod your head. Okay, give me 1 middle finger for Stonks and 2 middle fingers for. Oh, he's saying Stonks. Interesting. Okay, but that's still 2-1, not Stonks. So, all right. Should I bring him back for the next one? Nah,
Sure.
learn your lesson, Jacob. Detroit Lions versus Baltimore Ravens. Okay, fine. Next time you will learn your lesson.
Yeah, okay, fine. Arguably the biggest game of the season for both teams.
Agreed.
I think this is the where are we for both teams? Who like the worst thing possible for both teams is a blowout. I think they can't handle a blowout from either side. If the Ravens get blown out, they're going to be like, oh, we're not that good. If the Lions get blown out, oh, here's the reality check. A tightly fought close game that's good between like offense and defense. Like I think if they both play really well, there's going to be then that's going to bring up the conversation of they're both legitimate contenders this year. So this is a really important game for both teams. I think it's absolutely huge for the Lions. I think it's really important for the Lions more so just because they're not used to this. And they're currently the hot team in the NFL that everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's all wrap around the Lions. And every week so far this year, once that happens, they lose. So, yeah.
So you're going Baltimore?
No, I'm going Lions. I think Lions win this.
Okay.
I also have the Lions. I think that the Lions defense plays against what Baltimore's going to attempt on offense really well. I don't think Baltimore is going to put a lot of points up in this game. And the Lions have enough weapons on their offense to adjust. I know their run game is going to struggle this week without Montgomery and potentially without Gibbs, but they have so much going around with their wide receivers and their tight ends that they'll make something happen.
I'm also going Detroit. Like you said, I think that if Baltimore needs to air it out to win, that's nothing they've never been like really, really great at under Lamar Jackson. Like he can throw, but like he can't he's not a gunslinger like that. So
no.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm hoping for a blowout because I just want to see Baltimore lose. So I can see Baltimore fans' tears. And that's
a really good bet. I personally think this is my favorite bet of the week. Lions at 3 points. Like Lions, you're getting 3 points. So because I think
take that.
I put that on my parlay. So
yeah, this is my favorite bet of the week. This is the one you take. So
it's Mike, what you got?
And so for this game, I will go on the Baltimore side. Let's go Zay Flowers.
I feel like he's going to be the leading receiver.
He's going to get all the targets. I am going to say Stonks because I think he is going to be the one that Lamar tries to throw it to the most. Yeah, I'm going to say Stonks.
I mean, because he can't throw it to Bateman or Aguilar and his mishaps, you know.
Right. Unlike Aguilar, his mishaps. I'll put that.
I would. I think that Flowers is going to be a non-stonks because he's going to drop the ball again.
It's still 2-1, so he's still 10 stonks. But I get what you're saying. Up next, Shug, our boys are flying to LA to play the Los Angeles Rams in what will be a de facto home game for the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's LA and no one gives a fuck about the Rams.
Surprised you're not driving out for it.
I'm gonna be in Vegas. I would, but I'm gonna be in Vegas.
Yeah, I was in Vegas for the Raider game. This game, it's freaking $1,000 for 2 tickets. So unless people want to start sending me some money to go see it, I'm not gonna go see this game either. So
unless I would let you go see a game in SoFi, I would. I'm in Vegas.
It's nice. I saw the Chargers game there.
Did you?
We're gonna try. We're gonna try to do the Bills Chargers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was there for the Chargers game. I don't remember the first half. So I was so drunk, and then we came back all of a sudden in that game.
Yeah, and then we ended up losing anyway.
Yeah, so it didn't matter anyway. But I think Kenny's gonna have a big game. I think Kenny's gonna have a big game. Our running game's gonna get back on track. And I think we're gonna win this.
Look, with the bye week coming, with the bye week coming gone, we're actually getting a lot of people back. Like we're getting Deontay Johnson back, we're getting Pat Fryermuth back. I think Evan McFarland's coming back as well.
Is
And
TJ back yet?
TJ never left.
I thought
He tore his finger.
He didn't leave. He didn't leave with injury. Like he played. He played the whole game. He messed with his finger, but like he's never
tore
looked like
ligament.
questionable. So
Yeah, he tore a ligament in his finger and popped it back in, and he's fine.
it's TJ. I like the next slate of Steelers games. I think that the next like 4 weeks they have, like they're not playing any teams that I think are like miles better than them. I think like every team the Steelers have for the next 4 weeks are either like on par or a little bit worse than Pittsburgh. I think I like the as a matchup for them. I mean, sure, you have Cooper Kupp, but like we usually do pretty well against star wide receivers, like minus Devontae Adams, like a weird outlier. We usually do play wide receivers pretty well, especially when those stars like Cooper Kupp. I think that we definitely beat up that line, and Stafford is not CJ Stroud. He's not as mobile, so I feel like Stafford could be in real trouble, which I'm gonna feel bad because I do like Stafford a lot, but. Yeah, I got like I'm not picking against Pittsburgh. Come on now.
This is going to be Sacksville. This game is going to be sacks galore on both sides. I think there are going to be at least the over under. I think is at least 6 sacks. In the entire game.
I take that actually,
and that's from both teams. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of sacks in this game, and it's going to get ugly. I'm picking the Rams because why wouldn't we have fun with this? So yeah, I'm picking the Rams in this week.
Jacob's like, I picked the Rams
because fuck them. That's why.
Basically.
I got 5 Nakua touchdowns. I got 5 touchdowns. Plus a field goal. They are going to score the 73 and do what the Dolphins could not. I got the Rams.
Okay. I know you don't believe that, which is why I'm not putting you on that.
No, like being serious, I do think this is actually a really close game. Like I think these two teams realistically do match up to each other very well. This is going to come down to realistically less than 5-point game.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know. This is one of the ones this week that I would genuinely consider a coin flip. I'll go right now with the Rams just because I think that I trust Stafford just a hair more than Pickett. So that's the sole reason I'm doing that. But this could be the closest game of the week. Overtime would not surprise me.
And as we know, everyone, the Steelers stunks. Everyone on whatever the other team is, not stunks. Moving on.
Wait a minute, I thought Puka was permanent stunks.
No, not against Pittsburgh. He's not. He also was not stunks last week, so that might be going away. Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
Seahawks are gonna
battle of the birds.
This
gonna get ugly. This game gonna be ugly. I think.
Seattle's making a statement.
Cardinals will play them tough. I think they do play the Seahawks tough, given it's divisional. But I also do think it's Seahawks win this. I think they have their bounce back game, and they firmly establish themselves as the 5th team in the NFC.
Well, they also need to. This is also a good test for them to actually sort out their red zone problems because Arizona's red zone defense not particularly great unless your name is Dallas. In which case, they can do whatever they want to. But I do think, Seattle's gonna. I feel like this is like it's a bounce back game, a retuning game, and this is where they're gonna come back into prominence.
Yeah, I think Seattle. I'm sorry, my daughter's getting me some iced tea. That's what you have kids for, to get you stuff. You should get yourself one. Seattle.
I'm going to give you 2 options here. Both of them are on Seattle, and they are both rookies who have not yet performed, and that's JSN and Zach Charbonnet. Do you think either of them are stunks?
If I'm going to give stunks to one, I'm going to say JSN.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep, agree.
Yeah, because like I just don't. I'm not that impressed with Arizona's secondary, so I feel like he's gonna be able to. If he's gonna like have his like, hey, I've arrived game, it's gonna be this one. And please, because my fantasy team needs it. Up next, Green Bay Packers versus the team that tried to get Aaron Rodgers and failed, the Denver Broncos.
First off, set up your feeds to That's Good Sports for this one for the commentary, because that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
The two of them against each other. Green Bay's
This
gonna
could
win.
actually be the game that breaks. This more than anything could be the game that breaks Brandon. I really like this. Should just be the one that he turns off the stream and goes, "Nah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't be a Broncos fan anymore."
I mean, look, if you can survive 70 points,
yeah, I actually, it's funny. I did after that because Taylor one day said, "Do you reckon any of them will ever turn it off?" I said, "If Brandon can survive the 70 point, I don't think anyone
they'll never
ever
turn
turns
anything
off
off.
the stream,
Yeah.
or they'll never live it down. Like that'll be they'll never live down turning off a stream." No, I'm gonna go Packers. I just think that this defense is so freaking awful that Jordan Love will look good against it.
I don't even think they need Jordan Love, because if Aaron Jones is back 100%, I think AJ Dillon can run all over the Broncos. But if Aaron Jones is back, the Packers might have 175 yards on the ground in this game.
Yeah.
Please do so, because Love can't throw worth a freaking lick. Three interceptions in the damn Raiders. I'll still take the Packers.
I also lean the Packers.
So for this one, we'll go on to the other side of the ball. Russell Wilson.
Not stonks.
I'm sorry, Russell, but I can't do it. Not stonks.
Yep.
All right. Up next, the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
I feel like I should be excited for this game, but I'm not.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I'm not. Like, not even just from the point of view of Taylor's going to be pissed the entire time, but more just like this isn't like. I think this is going to be real. Okay, I think this is going to be an interesting test for the Kansas City defense, because I do think Herbert's going to have a bounce back game. I think he's going to actually have like I'm going to air it out and have that bounce back game. So we're going to see how good the defense is. But the problem is, I think Kansas City, this could be the wake up game for them. This could be the game that wakes up the sleeping giant of the Kansas City Chiefs offense, because that Chargers defense is so terrible, and they got criticized so much last week against a Broncos defense that is Patrick Mahomes, first time ever playing the worst defense in football, and he didn't light it up. He wasn't great. Okay, cool. Let's play the second worst a week later, and I think he's going to have a really good game, especially given next week is the Miami game. Like the week after is the big Miami game, which everyone's got circled as, hey, we'll see what happens there. So I've got Kansas City winning this.
I've also got KC taking this one, just because, like I said, the Chargers have literally the worst passing defense in the NFL. So definitely, I think Mahomes will pick them apart. It could be a shootout, but yeah, I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, Chance, don't watch this game.
Don't watch this game?
I said don't watch this game, because I'm telling you right now, she's going to be there. She's absolutely going to be there.
I think he is going to feast in this game. So
you mean the Chargers fan? The greatest fan?
No. Wait, is it actually? Hang on, wait. Is it in Is it in LA or is it in Kansas
It's
City?
in KC.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I am only watching this game. I'm only watching this game because I want to see Taylor Swift. So, Casey.
You know what? For that, I'm actually going to start respecting the Steelers when you're on, because you said that. I'm going to respect.
Because I don't like Taylor Swift. That's fucked up. Taylor Swift can eat it.
How about Mark?
Oh my God!
Only good thing about Amsterdam.
Traumatizing for me right now. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it.
So for stonks or not stonks, the guy who looks at the camera and says, "Are you a cowboy like me, Mr. Keenan Allen?"
I think yes. I think stonks for Allen.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a bounce back game, especially after last week, after whatever the fuck Monday night was.
He actually did good.
He did well. He played well on Monday night.
I was going to say, bounce back game from that. What's he going to get? 200 yards.
He'll do what he did against the in the what's the what was that game? The Vikings
Minnesota.
game.
Yeah.
No, the Vikings one. Yeah.
Yeah, stonks purely because I don't think Herbie knows Quentin Johnston's on the team.
No, I think he does. I think it's Staley who doesn't.
Shig, what do you say?
I agree. Stonks.
All right. And Sunday night, Miami Dolphins going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles.
This has been the game I have been saying for the last 3 weeks. Dolphins are about to be exposed, and that defense is going to look horrific against this team. This is a massive, massive blowout. I think this is a 21-point blowout. I think you can get right now, Eagles are at -2. You are a fool for not taking that. I think they cover and cover handedly. This is a blowout.
Interesting. I don't think it's a blowout just because I think Miami has like enough firepower to keep it interesting on offense, but I do have the Eagles winning this one as well.
Okay, the last look, I think it's going to go very, very similar to the Bills game. The first quarter, we're like, oh my god, what a shootout, and then suddenly, oh, the defense turned up. Oh wait, hang on, we don't have a defense. Fuck, and that's it, and that's the end of the game.
Shig, what do you say?
I'm going Miami. I think Miami's about to have a big game. I think Tyreek Hill's about to have 200, 212. I'll say 211. We'll go 211 and 3 touchdowns.
That would put him over 1,000 in week 7.
Yeah.
So he about to do it.
Okay.
He might have a 2,000 yard season.
Never happened before. We'll see.
I'm saying I'm saying Tyreek has less than 100.
Ooh, bold.
All right, I'll be tweeting at you, Jacob.
That's fine. Hey, sorry, the last real defense he played, he had 58 yards. Just want to say that.
I like the Eagles in this. I think it's still a relatively close game, but I think that there's a chip on the Eagles' shoulder after what just happened to them. That defense is going to step up this week, and Hurts is probably going to have, I'm going to say, like a 50-yard rushing, 250-yard passing, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns kind of game.
Yeah, I think Hurts could. I think he'd be in for a big bounce back, especially after what happened, like against the Jets. I feel he's going to take a lot of ownership over that because of the turnovers, and I feel like he's going to go off against Miami.
So let's go for stonks, not stonks. Let's do DeAndre Swift.
Ooh,
stonks. It's an Eagles player. Stonks.
I'll go non-stonks then. Go against Jacob.
I'm gonna lean a little towards stonks because I think that Miami's rushing defense isn't great, isn't awful, but isn't great either. So I think I'll get enough. So I'll go stonks for Swift. And Monday night we got the San Francisco 49ers against the Minnesota Vikings.
This is my other bet. This is my last bet of the week. They're gonna bounce back bad. Like
especially with no Jefferson.
Yeah, with no Jefferson. So Vikings going up against that offense. The Vikings going up against that defense. Good luck. But then not only that, the 49ers offense going up against that Vikings defense is not good. This is going to be a bad blowout. You can get 49ers for 7 points. I was iffy on it. This is the one I'm like, oh, I could see a late touchdown that just kind of like just kills you. But I also am like, no, I think they're going to beat them handily by third quarter. So, yeah.
I also got the Vikings in this one. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Shake, what you got?
Hey, Kirk Cousins is about to show you why he was paid all that money because he's going to be throwing balls to the defense.
That's what he was paid.
Yep. You know those straight bullets to the defense. You'd be like, damn, that was a good pass. Too bad it was to the defense.
Yeah,
All right.
Niners take this one soundly. We'll do the quick stonks, not stonks, and we're gonna just say Cam Akers to get it over with.
Not stonks. Not stonks. All right. That's going to do it for our show here today. Shug, thanks for joining us. Where can we find you at?
If you haven't seen already, up in the corner, you can find me at SugeKnight323 on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, where I do a show on Tuesdays called Steel Conspiracy. And we do another show Friday nights, every other Friday, called Late Night with Shug and Amber, where we just hang out, talk about different things. You know, talk about books, talk about video games, talk sports, whatever we took in life. Come hang out. And you can find me on SugeKnight1323 because apparently someone took 323 from me on Twitter, Twitch, where I'm usually playing Magic the Gathering tournaments or Fortnite or Apex. So come hang out, you know, watch me be bad at games.
All right, thank you for joining us, man. Michael, where we'll find you?
Appreciate it.
So every Wednesday night on What the Show, and I've seen a whole bunch of things in the chats about watch-alongs. We are planning a watch-along for one game, and I will tell you exactly what game it is. Thursday night, November 9th on What the Show. It is the most What the Show game of the year. We will be doing a watch-along for the Bears playing the Panthers. So if you guys want to suffer in misery with us, we will be watching
flexed. It's gonna get flexed.
Jacob, where will we find you?
You guys can find me pretty much everywhere at Jacob Blunden. And just on this show, I just did a podcast on JTE's podcast, Extra Movie Butter Popcorn, where I had to defend the Batman and that it is a good movie. So if you go have a look, and Mike,
you had to defend that.
Yeah.
Wait, which Batman?
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Okay.
Yeah, I had to defend that one, which was very easy to defend. But
yeah, that's a great movie.
That's a great movie. Mike apparently doesn't agree. So
are you serious, Mike?
Yeah,
I did not like that one.
What?
I mean, you don't want to hear my take on Batman movies, so that's all good.
Okay. I'm okay. Also, co-host might be wanted. Mike might be getting fired soon. Look, the Kenny Pickett slander I don't like, but I can deal with. But not liking the Batman, that might be a fireable offense. I also know you don't like Dune. That's also another fireable offense.
No, I do know that. That's right. I remember that we had this conversation on What the Show.
We did this conversation. For me, you can find me on Twitter, give me a chance, _91. Check out the Talks by Chances podcast. We just wrapped up our look at Eastwood, Gran Torino. We're getting hitting the ground running with Scarefest this year, looking to start with Stephen King time, looking at It Chapter 1 from 2017. Have a lot of good fun things to say about that movie. And yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.